What's good, world? This is T-Mo reporting live, January 10th. This is Tales from the Neighborhood. All the way from every hood you know, down here in Texas. Alright, got a lot of shit to cover, A lot of stuff is going on. This is new year. 2021 wasn't as bad as 2020. Considering what 2020 was, man, it was ridiculous. We know about all the coronavirus stuff, but just all the changes that happened. Shout out to all the people that have supported. Follow YouTube, T-MoTV, T-MoTV. Got 2 cameras set up. Gonna be looking at both of them from time to time. You know, I don't even know if y'all can tell, but my mood is totally different from last time we saw each other. Cause I was doing episode 6. Shout out to my boy HB Brian. And I've been chopping it up with my boy Tim. Shout out to Tim. We're trying to do it on a more solo tip. Want to get him going solo too. That's a big deal to me. Not only having people around me that can do stuff like that, but have the confidence to do it by themselves. Because, anybody can, get up here and talk when somebody around you being your hype man. But I think this was due for me, evolution, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? I'd always did it with other people, and I felt like, how would I do on my own though? Like, I gotta show I can even do this for real. I gotta do it by myself. So, this is that time. This is the perfect moment to say, this boy done grew since when I start this. Probably started at the beginning of 2020. Started around April, I think. So, this is a big deal. We gonna keep it going. And first topic we're gonna talk about is something that I got inspired by. Especially being around kids. I was around kids recently. So a lot of this has been stemmed up from, being around kids. Kids got a big mind, man. They listen to your kids sometimes. They'll be on some shit. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. So this first topic is top 5 cartoons. I'm not going to say of all time. I'm not going to say top 5 cartoons of all time. Because there's a lot of cartoons I don't even know about. Like, especially older ones, way, way older ones. Probably 80s babies know about, 70s babies. I don't even know if y'all call yourself that, but back when, cartoons first came to be, So I'll go from 5 to 1, and then we'll talk about them. Number 5, I got one of my favorites. I had to slip this in as a favorite because honestly, they need to bring this cartoon back, man. I don't know why it got canceled. I would like answers. But my number 5, Static Shock. Static Shock is one of my favorite cartoons growing up that, I was upset when it went away. Legit, there was talks at school. I remember, that certain shows got canceled. This show got canceled. Static Shock got brought up. Man, why did they cancel it? Big old debate. Why did they cancel Static Shock? It was a solid cartoon. This was the first time that I remember in my memory having not only a superhero cartoon on regular TV, but a black anything really, a black superhero cartoon. That's rare. I remember honorable mention though, because I remember when they did Steel with Shaq. Steel with Shaq was alright. A lot of people hated on that, but I ain't gonna lie to you. As a kid, I liked it. So hey, take that with what you will. I mean, the main character on there was named Virgil. I know that for a fact. Had the static powers. I ain't gonna lie to you though. I think it's too close. They would never. I don't think they would ever make a movie out of Static Shock because it's too close to, you know what I mean, the what's that girl on X-Men? Storm. They have somebody that does that in the cartoon realm already. Cause I don't even know what would Static Shock be a part of? Would he be? I don't even want to send him to DC. Why would you curse him and send him to DC? And I think if my memory serves me right, I think that's what it was. I think it was DC, but DC is losing right now, so I don't want to curse him like that. Like, no, don't send Static Shock to that. Like, I wouldn't want him in that realm. But you know, it has some good characters on it, good plots. Dudes dealing with high school. You know what I'm saying? Certain, you know, teenage stuff that other people will relate to. And little kids, they be like, yeah, I look up to him. He's going to high school already. I'm looking forward to high school. You know what I'm saying? It was a good thing. I liked it. But now we get into this one, number four. And I got to say disclaimer. I did not watch this when I was little. I watched this when I was probably growing up. Probably, I'll say in high school times. Definitely heavy high school. Aqua Teen Hunger Force. Say, and I was so upset that they didn't get a longer slot. I think for a minute it was only like 15 minutes long. And then they finally made it 30. But, hey, for everybody that knows, Aqua Teen Hunger Force was one of my favorite cartoons, period. Like, it came out in 2000. The main characters, Frylock, Master Shake, and Meatwad. Meatwad was the funniest of them all. Like, everybody has a goofball in their group like Meatwad. Like, I have a goofball in my group. I have 2 or 3 goofballs in my group. But I have plenty of Meatwads. I know about Meatwads. Like, man, that's so funny too because Frylock and Master Shake, like they all embody like a funny person that we can relate to. Like not just in our family, but like in our circles. We got guys that act like that. Like real funny characters, great to be around. Even though they get on your nerves like crazy, like you wouldn't trade them for nothing. That's a good thing. That's what I got out of it. Even though it was the jokes and all that, it was like a funny connection. They could roast each other all episode. But at the end of the day, they're going to come together and they're going to roast each other and smile about it. Like, that's how me and my homeboys are. Me and my homeboys will roast each other to extension. Like, if you was listening on the conversation that we were having, you'd be like, these motherfuckers hate each other. Like, how are they sitting together? I mean, I'm just saying, it's just different. Like every friend group is different. And I'm pretty sure some girls have it like that. I know a couple girls that like when I talked to them, they really was on that tip. They was like they could roast back. So I was like, okay, I can see you fitted into a roast session with me and my boys, you know what I'm saying, have our little thing. Cause we always do low key and it's just fun banter. Like it ain't nothing trying to hurt somebody. It's just playful banter. So and I'm sure that's not just, I'm positive. A lot of my homeboys try to roast. I don't think that's a white, black, Mexican thing. I think all of us do it in a certain way. Because I've been around some Mexican homeboys, did the same thing. They just did it in Spanish. Like, I peep game. Like, I don't speak Spanish, but I peep game. I know it. Here you go, way. Like, he called him fool. Way is fool. For people that don't know, way is fool. So, that's a roasting. That ending way, there has to be a roast before that. Just so y'all know, just to be aware. So if they say that to you, just ask them what they said. Just be nice about it though. Don't they're not gonna tell you for real. Try to nicely ask them what they meant. Maybe they might tell you. But yeah, Aqua Teen Hunger Force, man. That's gotta be a classic up there. And I'm not sure if it's still going. But I think it is, but I think it has like a 30-minute slot. It's down to a 30-minute slot now. So we're going to get to this next one, number 3. Number 3, all-time classic. I'm pretty sure this still comes on. Jimmy Neutron. Hey, Jimmy Neutron, say, classic in my book, always gonna be good cartoon, good cartoon. But I will say this though, for a cartoon, it definitely made you think. The stuff he did, some of his inventions, the type of stuff. Because I actually watched Jimmy Neutron. So when I was growing up, this was a big cartoon for me. He had different adventures on there. He would go back in time sometimes. I'm like, how is it? What? I know it's a cartoon, but still, like, only time I seen that is Magic School Bus. Honorable mention Magic School Bus, because that was another good one. But that wasn't going in my top five. That was not going in my top five. I'm just saying, off top. It wasn't good enough and solid enough to be in the top five. But one that was on, I don't know if everybody had the same type of channel, but it was Channel 13 for us, PBS. Channel 13, Arthur, definitely has to go honorable mention. I couldn't decide between that one and Static Shock because Static Shock was more amplifying for me. But Arthur, that was a solid cartoon. So we'll put Arthur in honorable mentions. Arthur got to be up there. So it's all good. But Jimmy Neutron had solid characters. You had Carl. Man, Carl Weezer. We all got a friend like that too. Like, it's funny. A lot of cartoons, you all got a friend that kind of like resemble that one if you think about it in a cartoony way. You know, he's real goofy. He's always, and when they get in any kind of debacle that involves running, oh my God, it's epic, bro. Anything involving running, Carl Weezer is not down for it. For real. And then they had my boy Sheen. Like, Sheen is the wannabe hero that every cartoon needs. He's a klutz, but he tries. At the end of the day, that's what you want. Sheen was definitely a much needed asset. I remember one episode specifically, they was with dinosaurs. Jimmy Neutron was with dinosaurs. And that was a real thing. So, you know, a lot of times, you know, even though they think that that's just a nice little episode, a lot of this stuff resonates with certain kids. You know, I had one of my cousins, he told me a specific episode that he remembers verbatim. And I was like, how did you remember all this? Like, it was special. It was special to him. So, you know, and I think even stuff like that, I think that's where I get it from. You know, something that resonates with you, even though you don't remember it all the way, them images come back to you in a way. You just let them stimulate you. Get to stimulating your mind, something gonna come up that you didn't even realize was there. Like, for real. That's just coming from a man that's, you know what I'm saying, like, real talk. I've done more meditating lately. A lot of different things been going on. So I've been doing a lot more meditating, a lot more just taking some me time. Like, I was like, I need some me time, bro. Like, I've been going crazy. So, you know, me time is important, bro. Like, everybody need that. And, you know, Jimmy Neutron, it started in 2002. A little later for the other ones, but, you know, got to put that up there. 2002 was the later one. It was more, it was low-key better animated, honestly. It was better animated. Like, other ones I think of around that time was Fairly Odd Parents. That was kind of trash animation-wise. Like, it was kind of trash. But, you know, it was a good cartoon. It just wasn't going in my top five. It went weird places. If y'all watched Fairly Odd Parents growing up, just, like, comment and say the different things you remember about it. Because what I remember about it, it was off the wall. Like, it went left field too many times for me. I was like, I can't even really keep up with this episode. Like, they would go jump from place to place, go back to the house, jump place to place. Like, what was the point here? Like, it just kind of lost me. And, you know, a little kid, and we paying attention to this. It's hard to lose kids, man. I'm just saying. I know a lot of parents have this issue. If you put that iPad on for too long, they'll get stuck in it. They won't even want to eat. They won't want to move. Like, you got to pry them away from it just to get them to eat. So, for it to be like that and my attention kind of drift away from it, that just told me right there, it's not really a solid cartoon. So, just being honest, Fairly Odd Parents was good, but it was nothing I would remember. And I'm pretty sure it's still on, but, Fairly Odd Parents just wasn't one of my favorites. So I'll go to number 2 now. Number 2. So I had to put this number 2. Number 1 has to be number 1. It was not, number 1 was not moving. When I say number 1, you're gonna agree with me why. But number 2, SpongeBob. It has to be SpongeBob. And I already know all the jokes that's gonna come. Bro, I didn't care about it. I know back in my day, we didn't care if the character was acting gay or not. We wasn't going off that. We was going off the funniness of the show. The show was fun. The show was funny. Like, solid. It was solid. Yeah, SpongeBob, Patrick, Squidward, Mr. Krabs, Plankton. Who was a squirrel? Sandy Cheeks. Like, man, all the characters were solid. All the characters that they had in those shows, they all served the purpose. That's probably one of the main reasons why I put it so high at 2, because I remember vivid moments about every single character. Like, I could tell you one of the main Squidward based episodes when he was playing the flute and they was going back and forth, literally having a competition how loud they was gonna be with some jellyfish, fam. With some jellyfish. Like, what? This is crazy. Like if you just go see that now, like with your kids, you just be thinking like they really like having a turn up, not in the ocean, mind you, in the ocean. Stereos blasting upon that book against a face looking rock. That's like, there's no logic here. But I love it. There's no logic here though. I'll just be honest, there's no logic there. But it's funny. It's funny. I was laughing. Especially when the jellyfish were like really dancing. Like I'm like, oh y'all on some other stuff over here. Come down to SpongeBob land, I guess. But that was a good show though. It was honestly, I see why it stayed as solid as it did. Because even my kinfolk know about SpongeBob. It's still going. They still have, I think they still have new episodes. So it's been out since '99. And keep in mind, cartoons didn't start getting really good until the late '90s and 2000s. So all that other stuff, it was good, but it wasn't as funny as the stuff is now. Like I can think of a couple other ones that was good back in before, well, not even before the '90s. Cause I think Ren and Stimpy's was in the '90s too. Ren and Stimpy, I can remember Ren and Stimpy. That was a good show. I mean, Johnny Bravo. Johnny Bravo, I think was '90s as well. So I mean, a lot of this stuff is '90s. Like I hate to crap on every other one, but I mean, '90s was kind of lit. '90s was kind of lit, bro. Like for everything, not just cartoons. I'm just saying for everything. But let me not brag too much about '90s because everybody doesn't like that. But I mean, SpongeBob has to be the solid number 2. You know, going off of just character wise, story wise, and how you can keep that going. And they took it even bigger because they got how many movies off? I mean, I don't know how many movies it is now, but I remember the main movie, Goofy Goober. That's the main movie I know. I think it's been another movie since then, but you know, just the fact that you was able to make a movie off of that says a lot about the solidness of your show. One honorable mention too that I wanted to bring up was Rugrats. Rugrats definitely is an honorable mention because Rugrats was solid, characters solid. I just wish they would have did more story stuff with the characters because we got a glimpse, but we didn't get a big glimpse. Like Angelica, for example. Like we didn't know much about Angelica, so it really wasn't much of a story that could build on in the movies. Like the movies when they got the kid stuff going, you know, it was kind of different. But I feel like Rugrats will always be an honorable mention. I don't know if it's still on right now, but I'm pretty sure they're still airing shows, still airing times of it out because that's a solid show. It's a solid show. Like kids these days will love it too. So you gotta give love to Rugrats. But now, drum roll. Number one, numero uno. I'm sorry. Any 90s baby born from 1990 to about almost 1999 to now. Probably your favorite cartoon was Family Guy. Facts, your number one cartoon was Family Guy. So, what else is there to say about Family Guy? It is what it is. Like, now you weren't aimed to watch this really young. You had to be at least going into high school or in high school to be watching this cartoon. But this was probably the only cartoon you watched when you was in high school. That's the only one you needed. You didn't need any other ones. Like The Simpsons, I give respect to, but I did not put them in my top five simply because it got too out of hand. Like it, Simpsons went too left field for me. It was kind of on the same tip as the other cartoon I was talking about earlier. Like The Simpsons always went too far left and it wasn't entertaining anymore. When it stopped being entertaining, that's when I kind of fall back from it. That's why Family Guy will always be my number one because they kept you entertained, even though it went left field. Even though sometimes the stuff was crazy and those side pieces that they would do, like no, like my favorite one of all time has to be the ones where he gets into the fight with the chicken. Like they had bro, like literally they had one fight where him and the chicken fought throughout the whole episode. The beginning, it was a fight. Lasted about almost 5 minutes of the show. 5 minutes. And then near the end, like right before, the wrap up happens, big climax, yay, ending, they fight again. Like I thought he was dead. This is ridiculous. Why won't this chicken die? Like, what steroids did they give this chicken? Like this is ridiculous. But yeah, Family Guy has to be number one. Anybody that has any, other ones that they like number one, just, leave a comment, leave a mention, whatever social media you're on. But I feel like Family Guy has to be number one, man. Family Guy got to be number one, hands down. So now we talked about the cartoon stuff, just the sparking of it. I just wanted to get on kind of like a personal tip and talk about why I kind of ducked off for a little bit. Because my episode 6 was a good while ago, about a couple months ago, about maybe 2 to 3, probably maybe more than that months ago. So, we had a lot of family stuff going on. Recently lost my grandmother, RP my mom. But that really hit me real hard because that was like another mother to me. So you know how that goes with family. You kind of got to put a lot of things to the back burner, to focus on them because you realize how much time you waste kind of like chasing stuff. So that really like put my mind in a better space that, you got to get better at managing your time. Time management is key because, even though I took my break or whatever, I always plotted like, all right, when I get done, everything done with this, the funeral over, I'm going to go back to doing this. I'm going to knock this out. I'm going to go back to the studio. I'm going to knock this out. The plans were set in place. It's just, the emotional side of you is pulled over here. Your mind might be here, but your emotions over here. So that was real big for me. Um, I think I feel for everybody that has lost somebody close to them. And when I say close, I don't mean like, somebody you knew, all that. I mean like somebody that helped raise you, you know, from toddler to grown man, basically. When you lose people like that, it's a little harder. And, even when they're old, I heard that all, like the whole little process, even though she's gone, she had a good life. Yeah, but it still hurt though. Like, you always gonna have it hurt, and I feel for everybody that goes through stuff like that, and it made me think about, what happened with, a lot of people that don't know Henry Ruggs. He recently got into some trouble. But I thought about the girl that died in the incident. She was in her 20s. So I know that family was really, really hurting. So, that I always cherish stuff, what I'm saying, with people. I made sure, like, even though I got a lot of homeboys that I'm cool with, we chop it up from time to time, we see each other, they knew the deal, like, that I was going to be spending time with my family, when they came down this weekend. It was kind of like, they supported me from a distance. And I folks with everybody for that. Like, shout out to my nigga PJ, main niggas, my nigga PJ, my nigga Junior, that was checking up on me when all the shit was going down. Um, all the well wishes. I really didn't even like when all this was going on, when it finally happened, I didn't even post on social media. I literally just did a story which disappears in 24 hours. Like I've gotten real like kind of private, so that's really where I want my stuff at, to where it disappears in 24 hours. So you know, um, but just that in that 24 hours, I had a lot of support just come my way. So I really feel like I had to say shout out to everybody that just wish me well. If you just wish me like prayers, I appreciate y'all. So because I know everybody wants that in that time of their lives. When somebody big leaves your life, it's hard on not only you but people around you. My mom handled that really really hard. This is my first time really really seeing my mom cry. So that was probably the hardest time for me. I know, real hardest time was having to be the one to help get my grandmother out of her house. Like I had to help wrap her up, put her in the little bag that they had, and take her out to the car. Like I was fighting back tears, just lifting her up, and because that was so hard for me, because this little lady that raised you, So shout out to everybody that goes through stuff like that, because I know that it's super 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 hard. You have to be a strong individual to go through stuff like that and come out better on the end. It's all about coming back better on the end though. Because all this stuff can be, what I'm saying, roses and all that pretty stuff. And then, weeks later you hear this dude is, bumming around, not moving anymore, being stagnant. So that's really the biggest reason I came back literally on this Monday. Cause I said this Monday, it's go mode. It's go mode. Everything that I had going, that I put back on the burner to make sure I took care of my granny, I made sure I'm coming back to it. Coming back real stronger too. Because not only is it for her, it's for the name. Everything is in her brand. When you leave, you wanna leave a legacy. She left a big legacy. I give her that. She really did leave a huge legacy, and I saw that in the funeral and the wake and all that. It was a really good turnout. We had a lot of people show love. A lot of people give us our condolences, but not only that, you know lend support in bigger ways, and even offered it, even if we didn't take it, because me and a lot of people don't. A lot of people take advantage of stuff like that, but me and my family, we not like that. Y'all can say all that, and some most people like, if you need me out to, and then you need me, just call me. Then they actually call you, and they need some stuff. You got a list of stuff. We're really not like that. We low key don't even want to be seen. We want to get back to work, put her head back down and grind. So, I think I pride myself in that because I got that from my T. My T has always been like that since I was little, man. Like, she's always been the go-getter. It don't matter what's going on, she gonna go get it. So, I always look up to her for that. No matter how much we don't get along in our little time, that we had, it was real big for us to get back cool before my grandmother passed because she saw so much of me not getting along with her, me calling her, saying, yo, daughter did this, your daughter did that. It was good for me to just get back cool with my mother before my granny passed because I know that would have been heavy on her heart. Because, older people care about stuff like that. A lot of older people care about that. So, I feel like that was a big accomplishment. So, shout out to my team. So, we're going to get back on these topics. Good transition point. We're going to talk about something I like. This is going to be top 5 underrated artists. And when I say underrated, I mean like they're not on everybody's playlist or they're not getting a lot of radio play. I don't mean like underrated like they got one song and they hot. That's not underrated to me. So, there's a certain criteria when I'm talking about this. So we're going to go straight into the list. Number 5, I got to give my boy Marlon Craft. My boy Marlon Craft has been going crazy. So he's from New York, first of all. I really don't like, of course, I'll bring up the fact that he's white, but to me, I didn't even care if he was white because the first couple songs I heard, you heard the soul in his voice. And I fucks with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, definitely fucks with that. That soul in his voice was different, bro. Like, when you hear a lot of New York songs, but you don't hear the sound that you're used to. I'm used to hearing soul in a lot of people's stuff, instrumental, soulful. So when I heard some Marlon Craft, I was like, man, this take you back to the oldies. This take you back, like, I feel like he grew up listening to nothing but Nas and, nothing but Ghostface Killer and all of this, man. Like, he didn't listen to nothing that, the usual people listen to. So, he embodied that. The fact that he was able to embody that in his music, too, and he has a lot of live music. I think, man, if I had access to getting live music, the stuff that I'll come up with would be crazy. Because I think, to me, being a big music head, because I've done music since I was in ninth grade. I was in band. Like, I was the band geek of the group. I was on drumline, Even did the little front stuff with the bells at one point. So I did it all. So, being a music head, I really, really appreciate guys like Marlon Craft. Marlon Craft, he did a big one that was kind of like, kind of got viral, but it didn't get too viral. It was called, it was kind of a police song. I'll say that. I forgot the name of it. It escapes me at the moment. But one big song he has, y'all should look up. These are the songs you should look up. The first name is Funhouse Mirror. Funhouse Mirror is really a good track with Marlon Craft. He has another song called Work From Home. Work From Home, really good. And then another song called Space. Like, this one, like, I don't even know. Because these aren't like songs. These are like projects, but it got songs in it. So, like, a lot of this stuff is picker's choice. Because a lot of people not going to like every song that they hear. You know what I'm saying? Like, I guess you can say it's one of those dudes that he has to grow on you. Like, Joey Badass, always going to be a top lyricist to me because I listened to him at first when he first came out. Didn't really care for him, but then I started listening more. I'm like, bro, he got some lyrics, though. Like, lyrics crazy. And he give you that 90s feel. And I got a guy that actually raps like that around me, Well, a group of guys, really, like, shout out to my boy Prince, Armani Prince. And shout out to my boy Adam. R.I.P. Nick Red. We lost Nick Red, I think, last year. So, they are real big Fort Worth embodiments of the kind of people that I'm talking about. The people that embody that 90s music of, straight feel, not really trying to give you that glitz and glamour, the mainstream stuff, but they just giving you the real, spitting some stuff. They not even really, on that tip of being in the parties. You're not really probably going to hear them at parties or clubs, but they making a big impact on the underground version of it. And I gotta respect the underground because that's where I'm at right now. The underground is always gonna be king for me. Even when I get mainstream and do all that extra stuff, when that does happen, that underground not going away. That's like a staple in there. Like it's not going away. That's why they're gonna keep like people like me, they're gonna try their best to keep me out because they know that's gonna give underground power. Anybody underground, I'll tell you this from jump. Anybody underground that's been underground for a long time, they usually stay underground for a reason. Especially when they have good songs early and like, why isn't this person gotten on this level yet? Like, trust me, it's a story behind it. Like everybody, like another person I'm gonna bring up later. Like he's got a whole story behind him that a lot of people don't know. But number 5, I had to put top underrated artist. Top 5, number 5 had to be Marlon Craft. Go check out these projects: Funhouse Mirror, Work from Home, Space. These are some really, really good projects that y'all should listen to. I think on YouTube, if you type them in, they'll pop up for you. I think that, of course, he's from New York. I think that he's been on a couple ciphers, not ciphers, excuse me, some freestyles. He's been on Funk Flex. He's been on Hot 97 with Sway. Did a cold freestyle. I always, when I try to introduce people that I know listen to music, that's the first thing I do, kind of introduce them through freestyles that people do, even if it's a written. Because a lot of times, a lot of people, I know the real. I don't tell people this, but I know the real. Majority of these freestyles y'all hearing that's, sounding like real coherent, they're just bars. They're real bars, like written bars. They just remember them. A lot of people, that's the real problem with me. Because if I go to freestyling, I'm a freestyle for real. So freestyling for me is different. It's not just spitting bars. It's actually, spitting like the old schools, like Gucci Man and them, and OJ the Juice Man, the DSR. Shout out to DSR and Big Tuck and all them, the originators of all of that freestyle stuff. That's where a lot of that came from. Swisher House. All of that came from really that came from that era. So that was what really got it popping. And I think even before that, a lot of I think I've seen before it was a lot of Public Enemy stuff. A lot of older cats was doing stuff like that. Back when they had I forgot the name of the actual show though. But it was before they had Rap City. It was something they had before Rap City. Look that up. It's something I think they had on MTV. I think it was like Yo Raps or something like that. It was something corny, but it had all of their favorite artists on there, and you was like, they got this guest on there, this guest. It was basically a Rap City that we know in my era. My era knows Rap City. The famous one is a Lil Wayne one. A big one is Ludacris. Ludacris is definitely underrated. Y'all should definitely be putting them higher. So, stuff like that. T.I. had a good freestyle too on Rap City. I'll give him that. T.I. had a good one. Luda, of course. Mike Jones had a good one. I don't know if it was written or what, but it was a good freestyle. I give him that. You gotta give love to the people. Gilly had a good one too. So, Rap City is definitely a staple in music though. Like I feel like if they gonna really, I seen they tried to bring Rap City back a little bit in some little form. I don't know what that was, but if y'all gonna bring that back, y'all need to actually bring it back for real, for real. Like y'all need to have actual big artists coming here, interviewing, doing their freestyle, and it being on TV instead of all these other outlets. You know, they can still do the Breakfast Clubs and the DJ Scream podcast and all these other podcasts. They can still do that and then turn around and still do Rap City. Y'all just got to cut down the, you know what I'm saying, all the times that y'all want them to go out and freestyle and trying to charge people to freestyle. I've seen that before too. They charge people for that. I mean, if you going to do it, G. Like, shouldn't nobody have to force you to do no freestyle. Especially if it's a freestyle. You know, it was one of those things where it's like, you need to know what's going on behind the scenes to really know. So, you know, I'll just keep it at that. We ain't behind the scenes, so I'm going to keep it where I'm at. So give me just a second. I'm going to check on something real quick. All right, had to handle some stuff real quick. So, number 5 for top 5 underrated artists that I had to go in and slide my boy Marlon Craft on there. Again, once again, he's from New York. So now we're gonna get into this number 4. Number 4, he's kind of known. But I don't know, you know, how much a lot of people mess with him. But I mess with him a lot. He's a huge influence on me because lyrically, to me, he can hold a candle with almost every artist you name. Almost every artist you name, he can probably go up there with. My number 4 is Don Tripp. Don Tripp is, for people that don't know, he did the most known thing he's done. This is the one thing I hate. Probably the most known thing that he's done is done the collab project with Starlito, and that was Step Brothers. I think they've done 3 of those. And I ain't gonna lie to you, the Step Brothers, like as a project, dope. Probably one of the dopest duo projects I've ever heard. Period. Watch the Throne is nowhere close to. I'm saying that like literally, like as a bold statement. That Watch the Throne was nowhere close to Step Brothers, any Step Brothers, 1, 2, or 3. None of them, all of them would trump Watch the Throne. Point blank, period, end of story. Like that's just like facts to me. If you going off like the music, number 1, the collaboration, number 2, and then number 3, just the cohesiveness that they had, the cohesiveness of the music, bro. Like Watch the Throne was nowhere close to that, and this is why y'all didn't get more Watch the Thrones. They didn't even mesh as as a friend. How could you match on an album and not even be cool like that? Like they just did that for facade. Do you see Jay-Z and Kanye hanging out like that anymore? Let me know. I'm just saying, like, but Don Tripp definitely got to be top five of my, underrated artists because he should definitely, like, if we going off lyricism and can actually make a song, Don Tripp can do both. He's made plenty of songs that I mess with. Don't get me wrong. You know, I know that he's not the strongest hook maker. Like he's not a good hook maker and all that, but he's a decent hook maker. He makes some decent hooks that that I can vibe with, that I can remember. So, that's just saying apples to apples, you know what I'm saying? So as far as that, number four, it had to be Don Tripp. I got to give some honorable mention for some of his projects that I've been messing with lately. I haven't heard all of them, but I've heard pieces of them. Number one of them got to be Lethal Weapon. He got a project called Lethal Weapon. Listen to that later, and y'all take decks if y'all feeling it. Got another one, Don't Feed the Gorillas. This one was, hey, if you want to go for a dark, like, remind you of Lil Wayne lyrics, this is it. This is Don't Feed the Gorillas. And I think the title speaks for itself. Like, I thought that was a fire title for one. And then the couple songs that I heard was definitely super aggressive and I fucked with them. And then the last one that I'm going to mention is Godspeed. Godspeed is the most recent one, I think. And that one was really, really good. And I feel like it was solid. And he had a lot of lyrics on that one. He was on some like stringing lyrics together. So, I always love dudes that do stuff like that. I feel like when you have dudes that do that, you add more flavor, not only to the song, but to your credibility. Because I feel like, to me, I don't know where this got washed away at, but I thought music was always about lyrics. But, we know how that goes with the industry. So, it is what it is. I respect him where he's supposed to be at, slotted at. He's in his right lane. He's actually been signed before. He's been signed to Interscope. So he's been on the big stream. He just didn't fit in. And it's funny how that happens. A lot of people get weeded out. Even when they get into the industry, you get weeded out pretty quick because of certain things about you, certain things that scare you with other people. If you scare other people in a certain way, you're not going to last too long in that realm. I feel like he just, he was intimidating. I mean, point blank, period. He was intimidating. That's the only way to put it. Like, and I feel like he would have took some spots in the industry. He would have probably some top 100 tracks right now, worldwide if it wasn't for, just the nuance of music, bro. That's why sometimes a lot of times y'all gotta factor in. There's a lot of nuance with this music stuff, especially stuff that y'all hear that probably done been through 3-4 different filters, man, before it got to you, bro. So you gotta factor that in. So what I'm saying, we not in that old school realm of just they put it in the tape deck 1, 2, 3 times, they record it over, they put it straight to you. It's not like that no more. It's not like that no more. It might seem like it because it's fast, but these industry people, they got to go through a lot of channels just to get a song out to you, like for real. Because when they do that, they not only they label at risk, but they brand at risk. Your brand is at risk every time you release a song. That's why a lot of these dudes got to look before they step. You know what I'm saying? And it's just the right way to move, really. How else were you supposed to move? You know what I'm saying? So, it is what it is. That's going to be my number 4, Don Tripp. So, we're going to go to this number 3. And I had to specially get this number 3 on here. Top 5 underrated artists. Number 3 got to be Premo Rice. Shout out to Premo Rice. Shout out to my cousin who put me on him because I wasn't even aware of him until maybe about last year, the beginning of last year. I was on him probably the beginning of last year. And literally, like, I gotta say, like, my number one is the whole reason that I did this list because he introduced me to him too. And you know, when you go down and you get introduced to certain artists, you go down that rabbit hole of like, all right, what have they done? Like, you know, in their career, pretty much. Like, I know I do that. You know, I look up a lot of people. I be on, you know, a lot of different, you know, things like that. You know, I want to hear your story. If you have a hot song, you know, and I figure out that you have about, you know, 80 plus videos, 60, 70 plus videos, I'm going to go down your rabbit hole. I'm going to go check, you know what I'm saying, what have you done in the past? See how you evolved, see if you changed. And a lot of dudes, surprisingly, have not. A lot of dudes have gotten worse. You know, if you go down the rabbit hole of a lot of these artists, you know, that's why, you know, you got to really know your artist when you listening to them. That's why a lot of these dudes go underrated because you listening to the wrong people and then, you know, trying to find other artists to find because that artist not satisfying you, you know. So, you know, my playlist definitely is consistent of some Premo Rice, G. Premo Rice is a huge basis of my playlist right now. One of my favorite projects that he got, Mac Sagas. It's called Mac Sagas, MACK. If I'm saying it too country for y'all, it's MACK, Mac Sagas. That's a huge project, big project that he had. He got a lot of videos too. If you just really look up these people on YouTube, you'll find their stuff. You know, it's not hard nowadays. But definitely Premo Rice. He got another one. I liked Orange Juice Jones. It's a funny name, funny catchy name, but you know what I'm saying. I liked it. I liked the whole concept of the tape. And then Churches on the Move. Churches on the Move is one of the most soulful albums, more soulful albums I've heard in some years, man. Like as far as like keeping a vibe and holding it there. You know, when you keep a vibe, it's so easy to get off track, try to get on another vibe, think you not, you know, keeping it standard. But this dude, you know, no matter the track too, no matter the track, he had that same vibe. You can tell he coming in with that cool demeanor, that saucy demeanor. You know what I'm saying? He might not even, you know, be on that sauce tip, but that's what that is. That's sauce. You feel me? That's all sauce. You can't call that nothing but sauce. You feel me? So definitely got to have him on that. Churches on the Move, Orange Juice Jones, and Max Sagas. Definitely projects y'all need to put your ear on. Some new music for y'all to listen to. Anytime y'all listen to me and I'm doing stuff like this, I'm going to put y'all on some new music. Premo Rice, Max Sagas, Orange Juice Jones, and Churches on the Move. Those are the three projects that I like the most out of him. I got you. Shout out D-Wiz, bro. Hey, so number two, I gotta put him here. Number two, gotta be my boy. He done did it with Don Tripp, so he had to be in here. Starlito. Starlito is probably one of the most underrated that don't need to be underrated. Like he is, to me, he's like he's the closest to Zero I've heard that's not trying to be Zero. Because Zero to me is a legend, always will be. Zero is a legend. No matter how people want to slice it, Zero is a legend. He's not underrated. And you know what I'm saying? Pretty much everybody that's been to a club in the 2000s, you know about Zero. Even if you don't remember much of it, you remember songs if they come on. Big facts. You are not going to like just forget about Zero. He had a whole song going for years. Slow, loud, and bang, and all in my trunk. You going to finish the rest because you know what song that is. That's Zero. So underrated, stop it. That's not underrated. So Zero wasn't going on this list. So it had to be Starlito. Starlito is like real dark. That's what I miss with him for. Like I mess with dudes that can give you a dark demeanor but can still express themselves. That's super hard to do, man. Like, and that's underrated. That's an underrated thing to do as well. You know, be able to have a dark demeanor, but also to be able to get your point across. Because a lot of times it sounded like he on hella dope, hella lean, slurring his voice, but he's getting his sauce off. Like, what? That's more impressive to me than anything. Like, cause you hear the hurt in the voice, you hear the like sometimes you hear the I don't give a fuck about life in his voice, like, but you hear like he trying to grow, and I always respected that from him. I always respect that from Starlito, bro. He always gonna give you the real, like, and it's not always gonna be pretty. It's not gonna be pretty, but it's gonna be the real. So 3 projects that I feel like y'all need to listen to from Starlito. If you haven't listened to Starlito before, these are the 3 projects that you definitely need to listen to. The first one, Ultimate Warrior. Say, Ultimate Warrior is probably one of the livest, coolest, all around like projects I've heard from an independent artist in a long time, in years. Because Ultimate Warrior had a little bit of everything, and it was long too. It was kind of long. Ultimate Warrior was kind of long. Um, he had a lot of influence of wrestling, but it didn't go straight into the wrestling. It was skits here, skits there, little bitty snippets. It was really creative, man. If you going off just the artist creativity of it, say that got to give you at least a B grade, a high B plus grade, just off Ultimate Warrior. That project is definitely underrated, and a lot of people need to listen to that. The next project I think I need to listen to is At War with Myself. Say this one, this is where he expressed a lot of himself. And a lot of it's like that, but this is one of those where he dug deep. Like you could tell he was extracting some demons in this project. And I fucks with that. Like I fucks with that period because, it takes a lot to expose yourself to a lot. And that's where my BITCH tape came in, Uh, when I released this, it was around the time that, I knew that a lot of things was going to happen with my grandmother, so I made sure that I released this before I had to get too focused on it. So, a lot of that was really a lot of exposing myself emotionally. And, it wasn't for everybody. And I know that. You have to know that going into this, that a lot of these emotions that you might feel, a lot of people might mean, man, that's soft. Like, what is this dude talking about? Like, you got to know that's what a lot of people think coming into that. But, and it enables you to kind of give yourself a fuck it button. Like, I don't know how, if I can even put that right. It's just a fuck it button, bro. Like, a lot of people gonna say a lot of things, but the fact that you staying true to yourself, wearing your emotions on your sleeve, and then turning that into dope ass music, I gotta respect you for that. Not even just the emotional part, the fact that you was able to blend that and make it a fun song. People not even realizing what you're talking about, they vibing to your song. Hey, you did your job, my boy. Kudos to you. Kudos to you. And my last project y'all should check out is this project called Paternity Leave that he just made. Paternity Leave. It was definitely a eye-opening project. Paternity Leave was real big. It went bigger than I thought. A lot of people that wasn't Starlito heads actually know about this song. A couple songs on there. I mean, they like the video. He's grown a lot. And I feel like just to see somebody's growth like that, I think that that's a real big deal. Like he has a whole kid now. Like he has to move different. And he did a whole, pretty much a project about that. The project is called Paternity Leave. So this is another one of those, he putting his emotion on his sleeve. Like it's like, I call this kind of like what I call my BITCH tape. It's kind of like an emotional time capsule. That's kind of what I call my tape because, your emotions are not going to always be the same. So the fact that you were able to not only put that on tape, but put it in music, make people vibe to it, create a whole narrative of a story. I think that that's a real big deal. So I gotta definitely put Paternity Leave on one of those you gotta look at. That's a big one for me. And now, number one. Number one for top 5 underrated artists. Number one has to be my boy. And honestly, he just recently came from here. He just performed down here. My boy, Larry June. That's probably one of the main artists that I put in my deck now. You know, the funny thing is, a lot of times it's funny because, you know, a lot of people I know, they know I do music. So a lot of times they'll get in my car and I'll be playing Larry June, not myself, because, you know, a lot of people don't know, like, I don't really play myself a lot because I don't like to, you know, listen to myself that heavy. I listen to myself a lot already, so I don't need to flood myself with me. It's hell weird. Like, I gotta expand my sound. Like, I don't even listen to just rap. A lot of people don't know I listen to rock as well. You know, I listen to Nirvana. I listen to System of a Down still. I don't just listen to, you know, I'm not one of those dudes that keeps up with everything, but I know I listen to the classics. I listen to the ones that made them popular, made them get a name, and see why it is that this was so popular. You know, I listened to those, and that even inspired me to get a whole guitar. You know, shout out to Guitar Center because they hooked your boy up with a jug. You know, I'm slowly learning, but definitely plan on doing some stuff with that because guitar is a big part of. Now, I didn't realize it too because, you know, guitar is a big part of music and rap. You know, and if I was able to get, you know, like a live, you know, music experience, that would be a dope ass bucket list, man. That I gotta put that on my bucket list to, you know, be able to perform with a live music band. That would be dope as hell. Like that, I've seen that, you know, in a couple performances. You know, I think Kendrick Lamar does it. I think J. Cole. I think Drake does it. But that's a big thing, man. To me, you know, that's a big thing. So, gotta put my boy Larry June up there. He's a big user of guitar too. You know, his stuff is real old school feel, but you know, he has a different flavor, man. That's all I can say about it, man. He's different. He's different. Um, and it's funny when people say that we sounded like they always ask me, "Is that you?" Like, no, this is Larry June, bro, because he just he kind of got a little bit of the same. Nah, I wouldn't say mannerisms, but kind of the same inflection of voice. Not the same mannerisms. We don't talk the same. I'll give him that. He talks totally different. But as far as tone, all of that, it's real close. And you know the funny thing I always say about Larry June, he's a reincarnation basically of Pimp C. And you know it's funny too because when I show people his videos, he really does. Larry June does look like Pimp C. So it's just a funny thing to see, you know. Um, you know, Larry June, when he performed out here, I saw a lot of people, you know, posting about it. And I'm glad that he's out here in these areas because we need more music like that. We don't need music like, you know, the mainstream stuff that's coming through here because I mean, I'm just going to be honest with y'all. It's kind of trash. It's kind of trash. You know, a lot of this stuff, and there's a lot of girls out here actually. You know, I try to keep up with the scene a little bit. But there's a lot of girls out here like that can really rap. You know, so I kind of try to keep a good little tab on them, but you know, it's so hard because so many people are rapping, so much time consumed. You know, so the main one I think that everyone needs to listen to. First project you pop in when you go listen to Larry June, you have to look up Orange Print. Orange Print is the first one that you have to look up. Orange Print is one of those solid front to back. Listen to it, and you're gonna fuck with almost every track on there. Second project he has is called Adjust to the Game. Adjust to the Game is a real good one, real in depth. He gets, you know, I think he has just one of those general like his topics can vary. You know, he's not just on one topic. You know, every song, his topics vary a lot. You know, but it's all on the, you know, getting money to the the live tip. I think he's one of those guys that you can hear like when y'all just chilling and sitting around, like y'all just about to smoke something. He's one of those perfect guys you could throw on and y'all have a good time and y'all actually listen to the lyrics. Y'all like, man, this dude good. Who's this slaying? He's one of those perfect ones. So the first one, Project Orange Print. Second one, Adjust to the Game. That third one, I gotta let y'all listen to this one. This one is a real classic to me. It's called Mr. Midnight. Mr. Midnight by Larry June is probably one of the more underrated albums I've heard in a long time. Like probably last maybe 5 years. Because not only because of not 5 now 7 or 8 years because it's 2022 now. So I mean, just the depth of everything that he was doing, instrumental wise, the instruments was crazy, man. The samples that he uses, him and not only him, but Don Tripp and Marlon Craft, their sample games, crazy, bro. Production game, crazy, bro. That's the one thing that a lot of people in our area, Fort Worth, we have to focus more on. Let's focus more on the production side of stuff because that's where a lot of these dudes is, getting I don't want to say clout, but the I guess you could say the boosie kind of fanfare where if they know you, they mess with you and they gonna defend you no matter what. Cause I'm on that level with Larry June and Premo Rice, guys like that, Marlon Craft. When guys ask me, who should I listen to? These are the people I tell them, because they know I listen to a whole different kinds of artists, and it's always good to listen to different artists. Get different sides of stories, bro. Not everybody got the same story. It might sound the same, but it is not the same, and they don't spit it the same either. So I think that's real big, bro. That's real big. Larry June, even though him and Premo Rice are kind of in that same lane, they don't spit the exact same. Larry June is way more of the Pimp C realm where he's hitting you with these catchy hooks, catchy ad libs. I always hit my cousin when we be talking about. I hit him with the he. He always get to laughing, man, because we already know what he's talking about. Larry June, man, he's super catchy, man, and he's one of the other artists too that showed me that you have to have another niche. Like you can't just have just bank on lyrics. Lyrics ain't always gonna carry you. You got to be able to be multi-dimensional. You know what I'm saying? Like multi-dimension will always help you in getting fan base that's gonna be solid. You want a solid fan base. You don't want people that just gonna hear one or two songs and just go about their day. They gonna wanna, listen to you every time you drop something. They go and listen to it. Every time they do this, they want to share it, like it, whatever. And a lot of times I gotta tell a lot of people that I mess with, it's not always gonna be a lot of likes on everything. It's not always gonna be a lot of views on everything, bro. So you know what I'm saying. Don't get your hopes up off that, like. You know what I'm saying? You gotta come to reality. Like even with bigger things happening, you have to factor in that that YouTube stuff, the Facebook stuff, social media stuff. It's not. I don't want to say a bad word about it. It's not the end all be all. Cause you know what I'm saying. The right person might listen to it, and boom, you got an opportunity. So, you know what I'm saying? Like. When we were coming up, when we were doing music, the right opportunity came, right person heard our music, boom, we doing the show in Houston. That's just how it happens, bro. Like, it just has to be luck of the draw. You have to keep grinding. You have to keep going. Like, that's what always motivates me, bro. Like, as much as we've been through, I could have quit a long time ago. I could have quit rapping a long time ago. But, I always get those, positive vibes from people. Like, just keep going, bro. Like, hey, I like this thing, bro. Keep doing your shit. Like, even though they know, like, I'm no longer on that tip of, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get signed. I'm trying to do this. No, I'm not. I'll admit that. I am not. I am not trying to do all this stuff no more. If I do it now, it's going to be all independent, all through me, all it's in me. It's in me. It's a Lee. SME. We gonna go together. And FMG as well. So, FMG with my bro PJ, I feel like he did the right thing because shout out to him. A lot of people don't know that he had a lot of extra stuff going on family wise as well, and other stuff. Shout out to mama for getting better. A lot of stuff like that tears you away from music, G. That'll tear you away from music because your family is all you got. Like at the end of the day, once your mama gone, she gone. Once your G gone, she gone. So you gotta cherish all the moments with them, man. Gotta make sure you taking care of your people. So I always commend him just to not even, not even on the, music tip, just taking care of your fam, being there for fam, even if they not doing right to you always. You always still gotta be there for them. No matter thick through thin. Me and my mama still get into it sometimes, but I'm always love her no matter what. That's not going nowhere. Point blank period. So I'm a segue now. We hitting that 111 mark. And now we're gonna talk about definitely some sports talk. So I'm gonna cover a lot in this sports talk. This sports talk is gonna be I'm gonna keep it like sport to sport, but I'm gonna be all over the place as far as what I'm talking about. So, as far as the NBA storylines, we're gonna talk about the NBA storylines real quick. The first storyline we got to bring up: who you got for MVP? Like MVP right now, to me, it's a toss-up as far as NBA MVPs. So I'll just be honest. I'm liking what the Bulls are doing, but I mean they got Zach and DeRozan, so there's no real MVP there. So that first one we gotta talk about is KD. KD, I mean, KD, man. Don't get me wrong. He doing good. He got big numbers. Like he's leading the league in points right now. He got 29 points a game on 51%. That's pretty good, man. But this is where I always have the debate because LeBron is gonna be in there, but I know I can't put LeBron high just because of the team's success. And he has to get docked for that. I'm just gonna be honest. Like when I had him in the running, they were in the top probably 5 of standings. But now that they're not in the top 5 standings, I gotta dock LeBron for that because he's letting Westbrook take too much control of this team. He has to remember, G, like even though I guess you could say Westbrook is doing better for him, but I can't even really say that too much because this team is weird, G. Like, I ain't gonna lie to you. I saw some stats and they alarmed me. I saw that this was probably the fastest pace team that LeBron has been on. And that scares me. Let me tell you why that scares me. LeBron doesn't play fast. LeBron has never played fast his whole career. They have always been a half-court team. And now all of a sudden, they is playing probably one of the fastest paces in the league. And it's because of who? Russell Westbrook. So, I mean, as far as Russell Westbrook, I like him. Don't get me wrong. I like Russell Westbrook. But, man, he's losing respect for me game after game. Just because he's not trying to mesh. He's still trying to be this person that he thinks he is. And, I felt like he had a lot of moments where it sounded like he didn't want to change. But you have to be willing to change. You're on a supposedly contending team. You have to change. LeBron changed. LeBron shoots more threes than he's ever shot in his career, G. Like, and this is the paradox with Westbrook. We already know you can't shoot. And that's what bothers me, number one. Number one, like, and the funny thing is, if I remember, if memory serves me right, you used to could shoot. So how did you get worse? Like you shooting like bottom. I only think you're shooting in the 30s right now. I think you're shooting like 29%. Like, let me look this up. Like, I think you're shooting very low, sir. Like, it's getting bad, my G. Let's see. You're shooting 29%. 29% from three. That's not good, G. But guess how much LeBron shooting? 37. I don't remember no time when LeBron went over 40%, but it looked like he finna creep up there. And this is also his biggest time for, free throws. He's gotten way better at free throws. He's almost at 80%. And that's a big deal, especially, when it comes down to those big moments. I think they're going to have to. Frank Vogel, man. I'm not going to say you need to be fired. You just need to not only change up the people behind you, change up y'all philosophy, man. Y'all letting them do too much just standing around, G. Like, I'm seeing too much standing around when I'm looking out there. It look like they just waiting to shoot a three. Like, that's not how you play basketball, my G. That's never been how you play basketball. So y'all gonna have to get that together. Shout out to my boy Giannis. Always gonna be MVP candidate. To me, that's the person that's like going to end up. Everybody keeps saying KD, but people got to remember KD is not all the way around, but he's closer to LeBron's age than Giannis is. Giannis is just entering his prime right now. Y'all forgetting that, and he already got him a chip by himself. Think about this. So let's try to put. I don't know how the years separate, but let's just put Giannis in the same scenario as what he was doing with KD and Westbrook. If they was together for that long, had those kind of pieces, and actually won a championship, would that team still be together? I don't think so. I don't think that team would still be together. And to me, James Harden was the main one that they needed to keep. When they got rid of him, they ruined that team. To me, OKC ruined that whole franchise by the moment they traded James Harden first, you messed up. If anybody was supposed to go first, it was supposed to be Westbrook. Now think about this real quick, what I just said. If they would have traded Westbrook first instead of James and re-signed him, where would we be looking at OKC right now? OKC would probably be the dynasty right now. If you want me to be honest, if you talking about a prime KD and a prime James Harden together, you see what they're doing right now. I ain't gonna lie to you, like looking at the teams as a whole, Kyrie really ain't that much needed. I ain't gonna lie to you, like especially since James has kind of adjusted to playing this kind of style because they changed the style. It's less of the kind of bumping into him, getting the foul call. They're making you actually play. But now James is, all right, y'all got that? I got this for you. Get in my bag real quick. And I still got respect for James Harden. I like James Harden as a player. And to me, he's going to be probably top 5 shooting guard by the time he retires. I'm going to say that. Like, to me, just off the accolades alone, he's going to probably be top 5 shooting guard of all time by the time he's done. I'm not saying right now. Right now, he is not top 5. So let's just get off the gas. He is not top 5. And we got to talk about these Suns. I think the Suns, I don't know, man. The way it's looking, it's gonna be probably Suns and Warriors in the conference finals. And it's a toss up for me. Now that Clay back, literally Clay just came back Sunday and he was looking good. I was waiting on that to happen. Saw some highlights of it. Bro was looking good. He was looking healthy. I think that this is going to be a scary moment right now for the NBA. we might be looking at the start of another franchise, like another, not a franchise, but a dynasty, you know what I'm saying? Because not only do they have that to deal with, now, later on in the year, they getting James Wiseman back. Big man that they sorely need. They need rebounding. Golden State really, that's their only weakness right now. They can't rebound. And they shoot a lot of threes. But we know they're going to shoot a lot of threes because they got my boy Steph. So that's a given. So I guess you can put them up there with that. But definitely I gotta talk about real quick MVPs. Gotta be in the running. Right now, I gotta give it. If I'm choosing an MVP right now, I gotta give it to Giannis right now. KD right behind him though. KD right behind him. I gotta give props to what KD doing. 29 points a game. You know what I'm saying? Shooting 36%. I mean, 5 and 7. 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 7 rebounds. I mean, like, that's good. But keep in mind, like, Giannis is averaging 11 rebounds and 5 assists, the same amount of assists. So it's kind of hard to cross hairs. You kind of really got to go for which team is performing the best. And then the fact that Giannis, you know what I'm saying, coming out this finals, everybody thought that they would kind of, coast, especially at the beginning of the year. The beginning of the year was really bad. They was coming out the gates kind of slow. Everything went on with COVID. They lost a lot of players. I really felt for them. I knew what all they were going through. And, a lot of them had a long summer. And I think Holiday and Middleton, they were in the Olympics. So how much time did they get off? Like, barely any. Like, that's not enough time to get yourself ready for a whole 82-game season because the season is back to 82 games now. So they got to get a full rest in for that 82 games. I feel for basketball players, though. It's not easy going through that schedule. And I feel like as far as, like, and I see the NFL doing their change of the games. To me, as far as that change in the 17-week, I feel like y'all really, really, really doom this next generation. Y'all doom this next generation. As far as looking at the past generations, y'all really doomed them because it was already bad enough. People were talking about the advantages they had. Now you're going to add an extra game in, and we saw all these records go down yesterday. And I was surprised, one honorable mention, I was surprised with NFL that TJ didn't get the record. He just kind of slowed down a little bit. I was like, why are you even out here if you're not even going to go for it like that? And he wasn't going against a crazy good line. Baltimore's line is not, nothing to write home about. There was a reason Lamar was having to run for his life. He didn't have, a good line. And, Huntley, he did good filling in for Lamar. I feel like he did really good. I think they should really keep him. John Harbaugh should not lose his job. But one firing that confused me, I just saw probably today, a couple hours ago, that Brian Flores from the Dolphins got fired. How, Sway? He won the last 8 or 9 games. What? How does that make logical sense to fire him at that point? If that was the case, you should have fired him back last year because they was super trash last year. But they were garbaggio last year. If you're going to fire them at any time, you fire them when they get momentum and almost get into the playoffs? Was you expecting playoffs this year? That's the real question. Were you really expecting the playoffs this year? Because you really shouldn't have been. You going with Tua at your quarterback. And I'm going to be honest with y'all. A lot of people don't know how to feel about Tua. I've seen enough of him to know. He's just an above average quarterback. NFL-wise. College, really good. And even then, look what happened. Got hurt. I'm trying to tell you. Guys like that, Tua, hey, he's above average. Maybe can get to good. Depends on how he works on his. This is just one breakdown for me. Just one breakdown. His throwing motion is trash. Work on your throwing motion, bro. That's really the key, bro. Like it feels like he's in the pocket for forever, but that's how long it takes for the ball to get out. He's not throwing it fast. He has to get that rotation better. So just an honorable mention for the NFL. So we're gonna stay on NBA. We gotta go for the rookies of the year right now. Rookie of the year candidates. So, to me, right now, I've been watching, for the most part, and it's only really two candidates. Really, it's only Cade. Well, Evan Mobley can get some honorable mention. Evan Mobley definitely can get some honorable mention. Evan Mobley, if y'all don't know, he's with the Cavaliers. He's gonna be really good. He's gonna be really good. I think that with some time, he'll be able to be good. With some time, he'll be able to be a productive player. If they get some people over there besides Kylan and Garland, they need to get a wing. They need to get a wing that can score. They need to get, probably another. If they get one more star over there, they'll be fine. Cleveland. Because the East isn't that hard, G. The East isn't that hard to tame. So if you just get one or two stars on your team, you'll be straight. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, as far as Cade goes, Cade is a really good player. I'll give him that. He's really good. Above average, no. He's a good passer. These are kind of like, I ain't gonna lie to you, just thinking of what happened last year. Okay. Melo and Anthony, excuse me. Melo and Anthony, they were both over 16 easily. 17 at one point, injury with Melo. He was still averaging 16 plus. Cade is at about 15. But Cade, it's 5-5. And this is really the way you got to look at these young people now. You can't just look at the points. You got to look at the rebounds and the assists. So when you factor everything in, he's 15, 5-5. That's decent. That's decent. So, Cade can get I can't give him an A. I can't give him an A because he ain't even average over 20. So he can't get no A, period. The most he can get is probably a B minus B for that grade. So, as long as Cade keep this going, Cade need to get more aggressive, man. Cade, if you listening, I need you to get more aggressive, G. I know I saw you in Oklahoma State, man. Oklahoma State, you had games you were taking over just off the muscle, G. Like, that's the kind of mentality you gotta have here, bro. This is your team. Detroit ain't going nowhere. They ain't got nowhere to go. So, there's nothing you can do but just turn up on them, man. Like, I didn't like that about Melo a lot either. But Melo at least got out of it eventually. Melo got out of it around the end of his year. He started shooting a little more. He got a little more comfortable. The three-pointer got easier for him. So I really commend him for growing just as a player in 1 year. That's the main reason that I gotta mess with Melo. So, last year, to me, that was the right choice to give LaMelo the Rookie of the Year. But as far as my other boy from H-Town, hey, Jalen, he's nice. He's nice. I can't even lie to you. Jalen is a good player. I gotta tell you, man, he jumps out the gym. He's one of those dudes that he surprises you. And, don't get me wrong. So here's how it should go. Here's how it might end up going. Cade is going to end up getting Rookie of the Year probably. But Jalen needs to he's getting the highlights. So, it's pick his choice. Because they both averaging around the same at points per game. It's about 15, like 15.3. He's averaging only 3 rebounds and 2 assists. He's not a passer. He's not that. He's a bucket getter. And I feel like, players like this, honestly, they need to get more PT, man. In order to figure out the kind of players you got, you need to give them some PT. Especially young players, man. I wish they would get more into it. Because I ain't going to lie to you. I remember back when LeBron came into the league. When LeBron came into the league, hey, he was playing 30-plus minutes. Easy. 30-plus. Easy. And this is a normal thing. Like, this wasn't it's out of the ordinary because the team needs him. No, this was normal. You expected him to play 30 minutes. When KD came into the league, they was playing normal 30 minutes. These dudes now, they getting babied, man. Like getting 20, maybe 25 minutes a game. I can't find out who he is by that time. I need y'all to give me some more juice. Let me see something. That don't make no sense to me. That part don't make no sense to me. If he's supposed to be the next face of your franchise, we need to see him out here at least 30 to 35 minutes a game. There are 48 minutes in a game. I need him at least 30, 35, you know what I'm saying? So I can see what the sauce is. I need to see if he blend in with my team as well. I wish they could make more of a thing where they're getting rid of these rookies if they're not working out, trading them to other teams faster. If I know you're not working out the first year and I can tell you're not messing with my team, I'm trading you. Like, point blank period. Just especially if I'm getting draft capital off of you. They need to start doing that. And one thing that I would suggest to the NBA, y'all need to just go ahead and let these high school players go to G League. Because that's basically what this is turning into. This is like they're skipping college to go to the G League just to be in y'all league an extra year. So why don't y'all just let high school players get, endorsed kind of a way into, the G League and then eventually get drafted. That's the easiest way I see them doing it. But, NBA, I think that they're in a good place. They're in a good place, period, as far as the league as a whole. The Bulls being in number one spot, that's a good thing for the league. That was a team that was just assembled this year. I think Lonzo and Alex Caruso was big for them. Alex Caruso, man, hey, you see it now. LA misses him. LA misses Caruso, man. That perimeter defense is not good. Their man-to-man defense isn't good. I tell you what, this Lakers team right now, honestly, I'm looking at the stats now. Right now, they're 7th. They're ranked 7th. So they would be in the play-in tournament. Did you think that at this point we'd be talking about the Lakers in the play-in tournament? And it's not like we just kind of just got the season started. We're halfway through. The season. This is literally the halfway point. They're 21-20. That's 41. 21, 20, 41. Yeah, 41. 41. That's halfway through. So we kind of know what this team is. I'm kind of scared. I don't know, man. And then you got to factor in, too, the first round, they're going to have to play either the Warriors or the Suns. And the Warriors and the Suns are battling right now. They are neck and neck at number one, fighting for, the top spot. And I think they're going to be doing it all the way to the end of the year. I ain't going to lie to y'all. It's looking like it's going to end up being like that all through the year. Honorable mention, the Jazz, of course, with Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell, definitely an underrated player. Definitely should put him in y'all top 10. I mess with Donovan Mitchell a lot, even though the stats ain't always there. He's not always crazy. He's leading his team, though. Like, he's making the right play. Kind of like on the LeBron tip of just making the right plays, trying to get his team in the right position. That's why they're so good. That's why they're good at making threes. They set each other up. They're kind of like they're slowly becoming another version of the old Warriors, kind of where they didn't have any crazy star. They got one good, really, really good guy, and he's spreading the wealth. and they're getting like nice numbers in between. The Nuggets, I'm disappointed in. I don't know. I guess it's Jamal Murray still being out, but I thought they would do better than this year. You know, they're only 20-18. I thought they would be better than this year. Jokic isn't having the same kind of year. It's kind of calmed down. But he still has some good performances. So I give him that. Embiid, though. Embiid. I got to give you props, G. Like, I didn't expect them to be in the fifth seed. I thought they would be almost out of the playoff picture. But they're in the fifth seed, and Ben Simmons hadn't even touched the court yet. Hey, if this ain't like, man, I think Ben Simmons should be ashamed of himself. Bro, you literally wasted your talent. Now they're literally showing that they could literally win without you. So what need is there really to keep you there? Like, they ain't even got nobody to trade for. Like, no one wants you. How does that feel? Not good. I know it don't. But that don't make sense to me. Ben Simmons, I think your problem is it ain't, and I know you probably working on this. We've seen all the videos, and I don't know what possessed you to share a video of you shooting in the off season. Like, we care. We want to see you doing that in the game. And I don't like that about this generation of I guess you could say of players, not just NBA, but NFL too. A lot of this stuff that's supposed to be under wraps, y'all are bringing to light, showing kind of like, I guess you putting in work. I guess you could air quotes putting in work. We don't care. We really don't. We honestly don't. If you're not putting them numbers during the season, and I see you doing all this posting during the summer, I'd be like, oh, okay. What was that for back then? Look like it ain't working right now, buddy. This is how we look at it. That's just how you have to look at it. But it is what it is, man. Like, it is what it is. I gotta say, if I'm gonna say defensive player of the year, it's super hard right now. But if you're gonna choose anybody, it gotta be between Giannis and Joel. It gotta be between them two. So, and if I'm putting my money on anybody, I'm putting it on Giannis. Because he's still defensive player. I mean, I don't even know if he's won it, but he's top defensive player. Because I'm just looking at what he does on defense, everything he does, how much he intimidates shots, the percentage that he has against him. Nobody's really finna have a good day against Giannis. I'll tell you that right now. We saw that with KD in the playoffs. Yeah, he had an alright game, but he couldn't take over. Couldn't. Giannis wasn't finna let that happen. Point blank period. So we'll get off the NBA for a little bit. We'll go to the NFL since this is a nice time. I talked about the Brian Flores firing earlier. That was kind of surprising for me because they was just, getting ready to try to make the playoffs a couple weeks ago. And, they had what they had happen. But I felt like that didn't warrant a firing. So it is what it is. Matt Nagy is out in Chicago, which I expected. When they start chanting "Fire Nagy" at home games, I felt like that was the beginning of the end. And that got to be the hardest position that a coach can be in. Coaches, they get a bad rap, so for them to have to deal not only with what's going on in the front office, but deal with the fans, turned against them. I know that's a hard thing to do, so he had to get up out of there. Him and the GM gone. So, and I feel like one thing about that too, I feel like they should always do that when it comes to NFL. If y'all doing firings, the GM gotta go too. Because those two are connected at the hip. They supposed to be the two that's trying to get the team together. Those are the ones that's doing the signings. Those are the ones that's making the moves. So they both got to go. Both of them. And Mike Zimmer getting fired in Minnesota. Now, this one is kind of hard for me because I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I didn't expect them to make the playoffs. Let's be real. Dalvin Cook wasn't healthy all year. Kirk Cousins is an above average quarterback. So I really didn't expect much from them. So I didn't see what everybody was talking about with I expected them to get far. Minnesota wasn't never gonna go far. Their defense wasn't good enough. Their defense was at the bottom tier of the league. So how can they really do anything? Mike Zimmer was a defensive coach and you gave him Kirk Cousins. How far did you really think that they were gonna get? Like, you gave him an above average quarterback with a decent defense. That especially last year. This year was decent defense. It's gotten worse, and it's bad because AP, excuse me, people that don't know, like not Adrian Peterson, the other, Patrick Peterson. I call him AP too because they the same thing. But Patrick Peterson went there, and I thought, okay, that'll make their defense better. Did not work out. He was probably the only shining light there, and now they're at home. So it is what it is. It is what it is. But I'll just do a breakdown, I guess, of the games that are gonna happen, and then I'll say, I'll guess a winner. So the first one up, Raiders versus Bengals, coming on Saturday. Okay, Raiders versus Bengals. Burrow has had a really good year. Derek Carr, pretty decent year. But the main difference in these teams is the defense. The Bengals defense is getting better while the Raiders defense is kind of tailing off. This Raiders defense was actually looking better at the beginning of the year than now. So it's kind of weird. If I'm going to take anybody, I would have to take the Bengals, man. The Bengals is simply out for defense because this right now is where defenses shine in the playoffs. To me, the best defense is most likely going to win unless I have a top tier quarterback. If I don't have a top tier quarterback, I'm probably going to lose. So that's just how I'm going about it. So that's really the only thing I need to look at, the defenses and the quarterbacks. Derek Carr or Burrow, I'm taking Burrow. The defense, I'm taking the Cincinnati defense. So it's going to be Cincinnati. Next matchup, really good matchup I'm looking forward to. The Patriots and the Bills. That's going to be a good matchup. That's probably going to be the matchup of the weekend. So, as far as they go, I feel like the Bills, they'll win, but they'll win barely. Just because the Patriots have a better defense. And both of these defenses are good. Both of these defenses are legit. So, it's really hard to tell, but Mac Jones just isn't. This is going to be good experience for Mac Jones, but I don't expect him to win this game. If he wins this game, that'll be a hell of a surprise for me. I would never expect Mac Jones to win this game. I'm just happy that he's getting this experience in the playoffs, getting to have some wild card experience. Because this is definitely on the cusp of, elevating to that Tom Brady echelon. I said Tom Brady echelon because it's Bill Belichick. Like, he's the greatest coach of all time. I don't care what nobody say. No matter how you want to slice it, he puts dudes in a position to win every time. It don't matter what kind of roster, no matter what's going on. He puts people in position to win, point blank, period. That's how they just took this team with a rookie quarterback to the playoffs. You don't hear about that much often. You heard about that a couple last times this year. Last time you heard, I think, was with Dak? The other time was with who? Ben Roethlisberger? I can't think of many other times that I remember a rookie quarterback leading a team that was decent to the playoffs. So you got to give them credit for that. Next matchup, Sunday. We got the Eagles and the Buccaneers. So I honestly feel like this is gonna be. People might think this is gonna be a hard game, but it's really not because the main, I guess, the big loss. I don't know if this is gonna stay the same, but Miles Sanders is not playing, so it's really Jalen Hurts and Jalen Hurts by himself. If he even plays, though, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know. Like, I hope that he's gonna play. If he plays, it'll be fine. But they're gonna lose the book, and that's not even me hating as a Cowboys fan or whatever. If they had a good team and I thought they could win, I would say the Eagles. But the Buccaneers are too good. The Buccaneers are, the class of the pretty much the class of the league besides Green Bay. And I know they were upset that Green Bay got the number one seed. So they're gonna come in ready to fight. So yeah, they're not winning that. Eagles are not winning that. All right, matchup that everybody wants me to say: 49ers versus Cowboys. 49ers might lose, but it's gonna be a close game. It's gonna be a close game. So I'm not really too much worried about that. As far as the game, I just hope that they, show some production, get some offense going, and what I'm saying, this defense shows back up again. So I like that. I like that matchup. So this is a good test for us. This is a good test to see if we can do it on all three phases. I think that's the biggest thing. Next matchup, Steelers, Chiefs. I got the Steelers. Oh God. Hey, y'all finna lose. I'm just telling you. Yeah, and y'all going to Arrowhead, y'all are losing. I'm just point blank. Period. You got Pat or Ben. Come on now. And Ben is a Hall of Famer. I love you. You're gonna go into the Hall of Fame. But it's Pat all day. Like, come on now. This dude he's too good. He's too good, too accurate. He's too mobile. He's too much of a weapon. You're not gonna be able to guard him all night. It's not gonna be a fun night for y'all. And then the matchup that's a toss up for me is the Cardinals and the Rams. This is the toss up to me that any team can win because it's kind of like, they split their series, so it's hard. And the funny thing is, when they faced each other, the home team lost, and the Rams are playing at home. So, do you go for the home team, or do you automatically just go off of they did it in the regular season, so just go for the Cardinals? I say if I had to pick somebody, I'd go ahead and pick the Rams, but simply because of the coaching experience of Sean McVay. Sean McVay has hella coaching experience at this point. He's taking the team to the Super Bowl, so I feel like he's going to get them prepared. He's going to get them prepared the best to be able to, have this deal going on. So I feel like the Rams are going to pull that out. It's going to be barely. But I think that they're going to be the ones that come out. It's going to be a good game, though. It's going to be a real good game. They're going to go back and forth, I think. I think they're going to go back and forth. And then we got the Titans and the Packers. They're going to be the ones that have the bye. Whoever they face is going to be a tough matchup because both of those teams are good defensively and they have an above-average quarterback. Or I'm talking about Tennessee, at least. We know Packers got one of the best quarterbacks in the league. But I'll say this, MVP for the NFL has to be Aaron Rodgers at this point. Only other one I would give it to is Tom Brady just because of the age that he's at. The age that he's at, he should not be doing this stuff, y'all. I'm just saying. Tom Brady is a cheat code. Like, how is he doing it at this age? And just a quick chime in. AB, GG, you stress me so much. Like, AB, like, is everything okay? Are you okay? Like, Bro, I've never seen a meltdown like this ever. And the fact that you, the next day, well, not even the next day, a couple hours later, post on social media with your fashion over, fashion over men. What's wrong with you? Like, this makes zero sense, G. Like, the storm off was bad enough. That was bad enough. You even had OJ talking. OJ been in the quiet realm forever. You got him talking. That's how you know this is a big deal. And then a couple days later, you releasing music? But talking about you want to get back in the NFL. Boy, stop. Boy, stop. All right. So, this last 10 minutes, coming up in the last 10 minutes, about to be on 2 hours. Appreciate everybody listening. We're going to end it off on a good note. We're going to talk about something personal. We're going to talk about relationship talk. So, first of all, relationships period have changed in, I guess you could say, now in 2022. It's more expectations now. A lot of girls are expecting a lot more now. But I'll tell you what though, a lot of men, y'all need to start raising y'all expectations. And I'm not, it's not like I'm going to see this, in my everyday life. I'm not going to see this in my everyday life because I'm not around a lot of relationships. I'm not around a lot of people like that. To where I'm finding out the details of people's relationships. I'm just going off of what I see from social media, the intakes of it. Y'all got to work on the little things, like keeping conversation. I never understood a lot of people that can't keep conversation nowadays. Like, can't even keep an hour, 2 hour conversation going. Talk about different stuff. Like, this has been a first for me where I've had, girls that I text or communicate with that can't even last in a conversation more than an hour. They'll get to, attention going crazy and they'll not even remember to reply to you or not even do this extra stuff. And I know that all comes down to interest. At the end of the day, this all comes down to interest. Because if they're interested in you, you're not going to have this problem. But the fact that it takes so much for the interest to come, that's the part I have a problem with. Like, if you barely know someone, but you got their number because you like them, show normal interest. Like, at least text them for a good hour or two. Y'all can't even keep a conversation going for 30 minutes. Like, and this is a problem with that I hear a lot of people having. So, a lot of things people have to do, they have to figure out their pet peeves. Pet peeves is something that's big. Y'all need to, like, kind of, that's a good way to establish a rapport. A good rapport is building pet peeves together, when I say pet peeves, I mean, like, things that y'all like to do together. When y'all think pet peeves, y'all think of something else. But I'm talking pet peeves as in you guys like to do this together. You guys like to talk about this when y'all are together. You guys like to do this and this, so on and so forth. That's what I'm talking about when I see that. So this is the biggest one too. How to get and keep your attention. This is a big deal to me because keeping and getting attention is a big deal nowadays. Because that's where a lot of people's time is going. If you can't keep people's attention nowadays, it's a dead issue. You're going to become just another number in their phone. And you do not want that. Like, that's the worst feeling ever. Especially when you start getting to feeling somebody. Like, that's where I always had my problem at. When I actually talked to someone, I actually felt for them, like, cared about them. And even if I didn't say it, I was sure it a lot. So, I had to kind of pull back on that and say, hey, she might not even give a damn about me. So at the end of the day, even though I'm saying, I like you and all this, all that, you got to factor in, like, hey, I don't even know how much you like me. There's no telling how far this is going to go. You might not even talk to me next week. The way these people go, so I got to be on my P's and Q's. Like, this is ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. And dating during coronavirus has been weird. Um, I've had a couple situations where I've talked to someone, and this is a hard situation to go through. I'm telling you, I don't wish this on anybody. So I was talking to someone that I got to meet in person, and I didn't get to see her face. Uh, I didn't get to see her whole face when we were talking. Got her number. We start texting, and she sent me social media. And immediately, one thing about me, I don't know if I'm pretty sure everybody doesn't do this. This is a pet peeve for me though. Is if you don't have good looking teeth, decent looking teeth, it's a it's gonna be real hard for me to fucks with you like that. Like the teeth are a big deal to me. Um, don't ask me why. I think it's something instilled in my mother, but teeth are a big deal to me. That's how I know I care about your hygiene and you as a person. Like, if you ain't taking care of your teeth, like, how can you take care of the rest of your body? Like, that should be the first thing you take care of when you wake up in the morning. In my book, in my mind, that's the first thing I'm doing. I'm brushing my teeth. Because the next thing I'm doing, getting in the shower and finding something to eat, so I could get a little sauce going. You know what I'm saying? So, I didn't get to see those teeth, and they hurt my feelings. They hurt my little old feelings. So, you know what I'm saying? I thought I had a dime, and it wasn't that. That's the most hurtful thing a man can go through, man. Especially at this point when you going through, what I'm saying, we already dealing with this coronavirus stuff, and you trying to date in this little climate, and you trying to get a girl to go on a date, and you trying to get her to take a mask off. No, no, I want to stay safe. And then I see you on social media, face down, face mask down. I'm like, oh no, Mario voice. Oh no. You know what I'm saying? I don't want that moment, man. Like, that's the worst moment you could ever have, bro. Especially because you don't know if you got this girl gonna try to see you again, and that's the worst feeling ever as well. When you know you don't want to be with somebody and you agree to go somewhere with them. Just say no next time, G. I've done that before. That's how I'm speaking from experience. If you do not really want to mess with this person, don't go out with them again, because you not only gonna waste your time, you gonna probably take something off in them, because it's gonna start showing through your actions. I didn't give that girl the same amount of energy, and it turned into, oh, so you ain't fucking with me like that? I'm chilling. And it's funny because girls tell this to me all the time. Well, I'm just saying, so do you want like us to actually talk? Nah, I'm chilling. All right, bet. When I say, nah, I'm chilling, so what? I guess what you think we was gonna do there? I didn't say that with you. I didn't do that when y'all said that to me. So, hey, it is what it is, man. Like, you know. I really, there's really not much more to say after that. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? The good Lord is going to bless you with the mentality that you need to have to deal with stuff like this. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? And I give everybody one piece of advice to work on. I guess you could say as we heading out. You know what I'm saying? One thing to work on for men. We need to work on being more honest. And I'm not talking about honest as in, honest to certain people. I'm talking about honest in every kind of relationship. Relationships get sour real fast when it's built on lies. And I feel like that's one of the main issues that we've had. A lot of families have been torn apart because of lies. And that is the thing that we got to kill that. If y'all want to have any kind of resolution for 2022, that needs to be one of them. To just stop lying and be straight up with people. Like, there's no point of sparing people's feelings. And I've always had that mentality. People kind of joked about it when I was younger, but it's a real thing. Like, not finna sugarcoat nothing for nobody, bro. Like, I don't owe nobody anything, so that's not finna happen. Like, I got to do it. And one thing women can work on, work on being more aware. I need y'all to be all stable in 2022, man. So I appreciate everybody for coming out. Appreciate y'all for listening to the podcast. This is Tales from the Neighborhood, first time one deep. And we will have some more content coming, got more music coming. And I appreciate everybody. Be on the lookout. Follow on T-MoTV, T-MoTV. Subscribe, like, comment. Appreciate everybody for the love.